Aries, and welcome to your weekly tarot forecast for the week of May 25th. Happy birthday to all those Geminis out there. It's your time. Now, this is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, so please be sure to check all three just to have a complete understanding of the energies for this week for you. And if this is your first time watching, I hope this serves you. If it does, please like, subscribe, comment down below, guys. I really appreciate it. It really helps. All right, Aries, let's get started. Energy of Aries for the week of May 25th. And the theme for the week. Ooh, Aries is my moon, so I'm like, ooh, okay, let's do this, guys. 5 of Swords, the Magician, the Solutions card, 9 of Swords, 9 of Wands, 3 of Swords, 8 of Coins. The theme is the Fool. All right, Aries, I'm going to just say it straight. There is definitely some moving out of some toxic environments, relationships, people. When we start out with the 5 of Swords, it's just situations that no longer serve us. They can be very negative. They can be just very unhealthy. I just like using the word toxic just across the board. And it's something we're going to have to push through. Now, you have the Solutions card with the Magician. Whatever the situation is, and for all of us, then we can see this in terms of relationships, our families, our work environments, or maybe just our society, our culture. But there's a lot of compromise that's going to be called for, a lot of forgiving and release, and moving out of this space. I'm going to get a clarity card for this really quickly. The Decision card, of course, right? This is about, when we have the Decision card, sometimes we're staying in certain situations and we're holding ourselves back. We know this is not a lack of consciousness, Aries. You know this is unhealthy. You know that you're not happy. You know that by kind of just floating in this weird limbo, hoping it'll just clear out by itself or just evolve by itself, it's actually creating toxicity in your body, and you would be feeling this, Aries. You'd feel lethargic and yucky and heavy. You have to make the decision. You do. And you're good at this. Cut, cut and dry out. And this is about having that confidence. Don't be stressed. There is definitely some stress here, especially with that 9 of Swords. But it's unnecessary. This is when we're focusing on the hows. Well, how is it going to happen? The shoulda, coulda, wouldas, the regret, the guilt, the shame, whatever emotions. Yes, it's good to process, but it's not good to just sit in that mental toxic environment. And I would like to say with the 5 of Swords, that could just be really negative or toxic mental environments as well if it's not in your relationships. You have the Magician card, pardon the truck in the background. You're saying, look it, Aries, you are the warrior of the Zodiac. You need to plant your feet down and stand up. There's other new beginnings that are meant to happen. And this week, I feel you might just feel like kind of like the crescendo of this energy here. Now, you have the 9 of Wands with the 9 of Swords. What's awesome in numerology, 9s are completions of cycles. It's the end of it. When you have the 9 of Wands, it's like the dark night of the soul. It's like the darkest before the dawn. It's like the steepest part of the hill right before you hit the top. Yes, and you're going to hear it. It's going to be loud, your negative thoughts. And it's so easy right now with this pandemic, with this entire situation that we are all experiencing collectively, but it's not meant to tear us down. And I know it can make us angry and frustrated and emotional, and that's okay. That's the human in us. But it's causing us to change, to wake up, to transform, to expand. It's pushing us. And I don't mean to use the diamond cliche, but it is. It's like this pressure, and it's not meant to crush us. It's meant to mold us in order to speak, to stand, to think differently, do differently, believe differently, move differently. It's part of this spiritual and soulful evolution, not just physical. And this week, you have to make the decision to be enough. 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 Whether it's an environment, a relationship, or even your own mental realm, we must pull up and through this. It's kind of like when the seed pushes through the soil, all that pressure, but push it does nonetheless. You have the 3 of Swords. So guys, this is So for some Aries, this might be some breakups. This is grief in all its many forms. This can be grief of losing a loved one, grief of losing a long relationship, grieving over a way of life. And when you have the Three of Swords, this is the past wounds, the deep wounding, and it's coming up. You might think it's this relationship, but it's an old wound that's been there since you were 16 or 10, and it's coming up so you can heal. There's so much healing this week, and it must take place. I'm just going to pull a clarity card for here. We have the Hangman. The whole point, Aries, if you want to keep whacking your head into a wall, and I'm an Aries moon, so I'm not preaching here, but all of this, when you have the Hangman, it's meant to kind of make you stand still long enough to get uncomfortable and frustrated and blow your top enough to force yourself, or it's trying to make you see a different perspective outside of your own, your conditioned thinking, your conditioned beliefs and views. And they're saying, look at, sometimes we have to put you between a rock and a hard place, because number one, we know you can take it, but number two, it helps you to think outside the box, to move outside your comfort zone, to color outside the lines, because that is what is being asked of you. You must, in order to grow, to be happy. We have the Eight of Coins. This is a lesson. Eight of Coins is learning, really training, really leveling up, guys. The theme of the week is the Fool. And I love the Fool, it's because you're supposed to head on this new journey. Look at, no sign, no human being, no sentient being is going to be able to continue to walk the same the road we've been walking. None of us. Not one single one of us. And so this is all about finding your path, a new journey, a new way of being. Can it be scary? Yes, absolutely. But it has so many unexpected opportunities and blessings along the way. And when you have the Fool, you're not going to know all the steps. You're barely going to know the first and second step. But as you walk and as you move toward and push past, the divine gives you the next and a blessing and an unexpected person, an opportunity, and all these things as you move through. I'm going to get just a little bit more guidance for you guys, because I'll admit this is a very heavy week. But Aries, you pride yourself on that, don't you? Kind of like, I got this. I can do this. Boom, boom, boom. Well, rubber is hitting the road this week. So walking that talk, loving guidance for the energy of Aries to kind of just help them through this energy. The Hierophant and the Moon. So the Hierophant tends to talk about marriages. It tends to talk about just traditions, traditional viewpoints, institutions. And you have the Moon here. So it's really about a lot of secrets coming up, a lot of things that were hidden, subconscious things as well. So you might notice, whether it's in your marriage, whether it's in the belief system that you were raised in, the culture, the conditioning that you were raised in, there's going to be a lot of things that come to the surface, a lot of secrets coming out, even you recognizing a lot of unhealthy beliefs and ideas about the world around you, about how life needs to be, about yourself, that was conditioned early on. And that's not your fault. It's just how it was. We choose we choose our families. But it's important for it to come up to the surface, to come to the light, so we can clear it out, face those fears, because for the longest time, we couldn't quite know where it came from. And even if we did, we're like, it's uncomfortable. So we're really breaking any unhealthy foundations. We're removing any toxic cornerstones or beliefs to our lives, so that we can recreate we can create a new age, a new time, a new life. So many of us, we are beginning life anew in so many ways. And Aries, you got the energy for this. And I think they just want you to know this is not something to be afraid of. It's something so you can improve on your life, improve your plans. Just break away the things that don't work. You don't want to build a new life on an unhealthy and toxic foundation. So you're just eradicating that. I would highly suggest, Aries, with this kind of layout, get into your body a lot, yoga, or go for a good run, expand some of this energy, and then allow yourself to decompress alone. That means crying, screaming into a pillow, punching a bag, praying, meditate. So get in your body, exert all that energy, and then exhaust yourself in a way so that you can just let it out, and then you can clear up enough to, okay, what's my next guidance? Because the Moon is a very psychic card, extremely psychic card. So being able to listen to your gut, flow with it without too much thought, and move. And you're good at acting just by your gut versus overanalyzing. I hope this serves you, Aries. If you like a more in-depth tarot reading or a distance healing session, let me know. I do have a free MP3 to cut like unhealthy toxic cords. Just go to my website, the little light box will light up, and you just sign up and you get the free MP3. Just cut some cords, clean your body. You're going to do good. All right, guys, take care. Have a beautiful week, and I'll see you next week for next week's readings.